Hey, let me ask you something first. If there were a creature that moves slower than a turtle, has no teeth, no fangs, no claws, and spends all day just lying still in the sand without budging an inch, would you think it's dangerous? Probably not, right? And yet, scientists rank it among the most dangerous killers in the entire ocean. No, it's not a great white shark. It's not a stonefish with its deadly spines, or the notorious box jellyfish off the coast of Australia. It doesn't even look scary at all. It's a snail. Seriously, a tiny sea snail, only about 5 to 15 centimeters long, that spends its days buried in the sand or hiding in coral crevices. It looks just like one of those pretty decorative shells you'd pick up while strolling along the beach. Its shell's patterns are so beautiful that many divers happily pick it up to admire it, even pocketing it as a souvenir. And sometimes, that turns out to be the last decision they ever make. Because with a single strike that lasts less than 1/10 of a second, this tiny snail can take down a fish dozens of times its own size in just a matter of seconds. And if a human accidentally touches one, death can come within hours, sometimes even minutes depending on the species. And to this day, medicine still has no specific antidote. This is the cone snail, one of the names that makes divers shudder. In the Indo-Pacific region, people have given it a chilling nickname, the cigarette snail. Why? Because legend has it that if you're unlucky enough to get stung by one of the more lethal cone snail species, you'd only have enough time left to sit down, light a cigarette, smoke it all the way through, and then it would be over for good. Chilling enough already? Well, here's the scarier part. There are over 800 different species of cone snails found worldwide, scattered across tropical waters, from Australia's Great Barrier Reef all the way to Southeast Asian beaches, Vietnam included. That means it's entirely possible that somewhere beneath the clear blue water where you once went swimming last summer, one of the most feared predators on the planet was quietly lying in wait. So how does this slow, seemingly harmless snail become such a fearsome killer? Let's find out. First, picture this. The cone snail is like a retired sniper, spending its days lying perfectly still, enjoying a quiet life buried in soft sand or tucked away in the shadows of a coral reef. It has no interest in running or chasing down prey the way sharks or swordfish do. In fact, it's so lazy that it barely moves at all, most of the time staying buried in the sand with only a tiny part of its body exposed. But don't let that retired and relaxed appearance fool you. Inside that beautifully spiraled shell, as intricate as a piece of handcrafted jewelry, sits a loaded weapon, cocked and ready, just waiting for an unsuspecting prey to wander within range. It's exactly like a patient angler who sits by the riverbank for hours, sometimes even days, not out of laziness or helplessness, but because he's waiting for exactly the right moment to strike. And when that moment comes, it's fast, precise, merciless, and there's certainly no second chance for the prey. In the scientific world, the cone snail's secret weapon is called a radula, a type of modified tooth-like structure shaped over millions of years of evolution. But that's a bit of a mouthful, so let's just call it what it really is: a venom harpoon. This venom harpoon is essentially a tooth that has evolved into a tiny, arrow-shaped structure, hollow in the middle, just like a hypodermic needle. Inside, it's packed with an incredibly potent toxin cocktail that scientists call conotoxin. But let's just call it a nerve-paralyzing cocktail for simplicity. What's fascinating is that each cone snail species has its own unique cocktail recipe, fine-tuned over millions of years of evolution to match its preferred prey. Some species specialize in hunting sea worms, others prefer fish, and some even specialize in hunting their own kind. When prey, usually a small fish, a sea worm, or even another snail, drifts unknowingly nearby, the cone snail fires its venom harpoon at a speed so fast the naked eye can barely register it. Scientists have measured that the harpoon strike of some cone snail species is even faster than a professional boxer's punch, happening in just a few milliseconds. But here's the part that has puzzled scientists for decades. How can a creature this slow, with barely any eyesight and no ability to give chase, possibly catch fish that swim hundreds of times faster than it does? In theory, the prey should easily be able to swim away before the cone snail ever gets a chance to strike. An ordinary fish only needs a single flick of its tail to put tens of centimeters of distance between itself and danger, more than enough to escape any slow-moving predator. And yet, in reality, cone snails succeed at hunting with astonishingly high success rates, even higher than many fast, agile predators in the ocean. No speed, no agility, not even the ability to stalk on the move. So what exactly allows it to turn the tables so dramatically? The answer lies in an incredibly sophisticated strategy that scientists call the stationary net casting tactic. Instead of chasing down prey like most predators do, the cone snail turns its own mouth into a massive trap, camouflaged almost perfectly with its surroundings. It slowly extends its proboscis, a tube-like feeding organ, like a bag-shaped net. Then, with extreme patience, barely moving at all, gradually closes in on its prey without creating any noticeable disturbance in the surrounding water. While the fish is busy swimming around foraging for food, it has absolutely no idea it has wandered into what researchers call the cone snail's kill zone, an extremely close range where a single wrong move means there's no turning back. And the moment the prey comes within just a few millimeters, the cone snail instantly triggers its harpoon-firing reflex, one of the fastest attack reflexes ever recorded in the entire animal kingdom, vertebrate or invertebrate. The instant the harpoon pierces the prey's body, the conotoxin immediately takes effect, paralyzing the victim's entire nervous system within mere seconds. The fish barely has time to react, let alone swim away. Its body goes completely rigid, as if someone had just pulled its plug. Once the prey is fully immobilized, the cone snail slowly begins to swallow it whole, even if the prey is many times larger than its tiny mouth. Its body has an astonishing capacity to expand, much like a rubber bag stretching to accommodate a ball far bigger than its original size. But honestly, the most surprising part of learning about this snail wasn't how skillfully it hunts. It's a completely different fact. This deadly venom is now opening up an entirely new frontier in modern medicine. Scientists, while studying the chemical structure of conotoxin in depth, discovered that certain compounds in cone snail venom can relieve pain thousands of times more powerfully than morphine, one of the strongest painkillers humans have ever known. And remarkably, unlike morphine, it's not addictive and doesn't come with the same dangerous side effects. Today, a painkiller derived and synthesized from cone snail venom, called ziconotide, has been officially approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, for treating patients with severe chronic pain, especially in cases where every other conventional painkiller has failed. Think about it. A weapon that once struck fear into so many people has now become a new source of hope for millions of patients living with unbearable, relentless pain. And the story doesn't end there. Scientists around the world are still researching hundreds of different compounds found in the venom of various cone snail species, hoping to discover even more new medications, not just for pain relief, but potentially for treating epilepsy and even certain forms of cancer in the not-too-distant future. So, there you have it. A tiny, slow-moving creature with no fangs and no claws, once dismissed by many as completely harmless, or, at best, good only as a decorative souvenir, turns out to be both one of the ocean's most fearsome and effective killers, and, at the same time, a key that's unlocking new hope for modern medicine. Nature, once again, never fails to leave us in awe of its ingenuity and unpredictability. And sometimes, the most dangerous creature of all is the one we'd least expect, quietly lying there beneath the soft sand of what seems like the most peaceful beach in the world.